Life is like a wheelbarrow. If you don't push it, it doesn't move. Welcome to Block 929. My name is Ted. I am back again with my story. This is the story of my life, where I am going to share with you my life story from when I was a young person leaving Malawi without telling my parents where I was going to South Africa. And then I will tell you how I lived my life in South Africa and came back to Malawi and be known as a bush engineer. In the previous episodes, the two episodes that I shared with you, the first one, I was telling you about my life when I was a young kid, how I struggled with my education, left Malawi without telling my parents to go to South Africa. In the second episode, I was in South Africa, arrived in Johannesburg, lost a friend on the way, and then left to go to Plettenberg Bay. In Plettenberg Bay, I met my new boss there, started to work there, but had a lot of challenges with my boss, who started to become very, very, very rough with me and my friend Charles. Charles is a Malawian that I met in Plettenberg Bay, was working for the same boss. Now, let's continue our story. But first of all, before we go any further, I would like to ask you, if you haven't yet subscribed, to subscribe so that you don't lose or miss any of the story that I'll be sharing with you. This story is very interesting and can be able to inspire many who want to start a business and also who want to advance in their lives. All right. In the previous story, I was telling you what happened in Plettenberg Bay. In Plettenberg Bay, we started working with a boss by the name of Dan. And Dan took me and Charles and told us to work at the beach. The reason why he was telling us to go to the beach because he didn't want us to associate with the two Zulu guys who were also working with him and staying with us on the same premises. Dan did not like the fact that we were associating with these two South Africans. So he wanted us to be isolated from them. But now, the unfortunate thing for Dan was that when he sent us to work at the beach, we became so smart and started making money at the beach. And Dan didn't like this, and he sent us back to the shop so that we can work there. I was no longer working in the shop, selling the ornaments that he was selling. He started asking me to be cleaning the premises, and he would ask me to pick up cigarette butts, something that I did not like. Life started to become very, very tough for me. And me and Charles, we were always complaining and worried what's going to happen to us. But as time goes by, I started getting used. I ignored the challenges that I was facing with my boss then and started making friends in the location. There was a squatter camp that was close by, so I made a few friends there, and I would always go there and mix with them and enjoy. I remember one day, the two ladies that I had met there, Nomtandazo and Pamela, they came to pick me up and said, Ted, let's go to the squatter camp because we are having a fashion show there. So I went there, dressed myself up, and went to this fashion show. It was a great fashion show, and it was actually the first time I had ever attended a fashion show. Now, while we were doing the fashion show, they wanted to find somebody who would be a judge to judge the people who were busy doing this fashion show. So Nomtandazo was also one of the competitors, suggested that I should be one of the judges. So yeah, I became a judge just from nowhere. So me, Pamela, and a few other people there, we became judges. So here I was, a guy from Malawi, moved from Malawi, go to South Africa, didn't know anybody there, landed in Plettenberg Bay, where there was nobody that I knew. There was not even a single Malawian around there, except Charles. There I was mixing with the people in the location. And there I was selected to be one of the judges. It was a memorable event for me because I never imagined I would be in South Africa and be doing something like this. So as time was going, we were so miserable. As you can remember in the previous story, I told you that Dan took my passport. And he started also not paying me the full money that he was paying me. He just gave me enough money that was for me to be able to buy food for myself. The reason why he did this, because he realized that we had convinced our Zulu friends to save money. So we used to put money together to buy food. And this allowed us to be able to have some money that we were able to keep. So Dan didn't like this idea. I remember one day when we were working, Dan came and was pushing us to work and treating us very bad. I remember one day when Dan was complaining about the work, that the shop is not doing well. I remember giving him a saying which went like this. I said, Dan, life is like a wheelbarrow. If you don't push it, it doesn't move. So Dan kept this saying in his head that one day when he was treating us very bad, he said to me, Ted, why are you complaining? I said, but now, Dan, you're not treating us well. Then he said, you remember what you told me? You said life is like a wheelbarrow. If you don't push it, it won't move. I remember telling Dan that, but you are doing it the wrong way. He said, what do you mean when you say I'm doing it the wrong way? I said, instead of you pushing the wheelbarrow, you are going in front of the wheelbarrow and you're trying to drag it. Therefore, you will never be able to move that wheelbarrow. You need to go back behind the wheelbarrow and lift the handles so that you can be able to push. It's not about just pushing the wheelbarrow. It's about you also making an effort by lifting the handles so that you can be able to push the wheelbarrow. He just looked at me. And I believe that Dan used to know that I was very, very smart. One day, we had a visitor at the shop. He was an American. He came with his girlfriend. I think it was after they just got married. They came to Plettenberg Bay for a honeymoon. This man was by the name of Eric Faringer. Eric Faringer came into the shop and was speaking to Dan while I was outside busy picking cigarette butts and cleaning and all that stuff. He came to Dan and he said to him he wanted to buy one of the games that was in the shop. This game was a Malawian game. We call it Bao. So he wanted to buy that game, but Dan didn't know how the game is played. Dan told this Mr. Eric Faringer that there is a young man outside there. His name is Ted. He will be able to teach you how to play this game. So Dan came out and called me to come into the shop and introduced me to Mr. Eric Faringer. And he said to me, you need to teach this man how to play this game. So there I was sitting down playing the Malawian Bao game with Mr. Eric Faringer. All right. In this video, I am sharing my life story. So if you've just joined this video, I am sharing my life story where I will start from Malawi when I was young, coming to South Africa and ending up in Plettenberg Bay. So if you're new, just joined us, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. So here I was teaching Dr. Eric Faringer how to play Bao, the Malawian game. And as we were playing, he was speaking to me and telling me, Ted, this is a very smart game. It's a very intelligent game. Where do you come from? So I said, no, I come from Malawi. And he said, why did you come to South Africa? I said, no, I came for greener pasture and also for me to be able to learn. So maybe learn something or study or further my education. So he said, what do you want to study? So I said, no, I would like to learn more about computers. He said, wow, I also have got a company and we work with computers. I'm a programmer. So I do program for the plants that we grow in my nursery. So I said, wow, that's interesting. So as we were playing the game, he said, do you know that this game is almost like a computer? Because the way it was programmed, it is the same as when you're doing programming. So I said, wow, that's very interesting. So as I was teaching him how to play the game, he said to me, Ted, I can take you to Cape Town. And if you can come to Cape Town, you will be teaching me this game and I can be teaching you how to play Bao. I said to myself, wow, this is very, very interesting. And you know, what was very interesting on this particular day is that morning of that day, Dan just came and called me to the office, and he gave me back my passport. I didn't know why Dan was giving me my passport back, but he just gave it to me. And when I went to tell Charles that Dan has given me my passport, Charles went to him and asked for his passport. And he said, no, Charles, you came with me. I'm not going to give you your passport. I'm giving Ted his passport because he came by himself. I didn't know what were the plans for Dan. So this particular day, and then just happens that Dr. Eric Faringer came also to the shop. And here I was teaching him how to play a bow game. He got very interested and is offering to take me to Cape Town. So I said, I would love to go with you. So what must I do? He said, no, Ted, it's up to you. You have to speak to your boss and ask him if he can allow you to come with me. So I'm going to buy this game. Tomorrow morning, you can give me the results. If you want to come with me, we are leaving tomorrow, I can take you with me. I said, wow, this is an opportunity for me to go to Cape Town and learn how to play bow. How to do computers. So let me ask Dan tonight. So that afternoon, before knocking off, while we were busy arranging ourselves, I started asking Dan a question. I said, Dan, what would you say if I could find an opportunity to go to Cape Town to study? Dan just looked at me and said, Ted, it's your life. Whatever I want to do, it's up to you. So I said, you remember that gentleman who came this afternoon, the one who said I must teach how to play bow? He has offered to take me with me to Cape Town so that he can teach me computers, and in return, I'll be teaching him how to play bow. He said, Ted, it's up to you. If you want to go with him, no problem. When does he want to take you? I said, tomorrow morning they say they are leaving. So he said, if you say it's okay, I can join them tomorrow morning and we can leave for Cape Town. Dan looked at me, his eyes very shocked and with disbelief, but there was nothing he could do. So he said to me, Ted, if you want to go, I wish you all the best. If you want to further your education, there's no reason why I should stop you. So are you going to go and prepare yourself tonight? I said, yes, I have to prepare, pack my things so that tomorrow I can leave with Dr. Eric Faringer. So that afternoon when we were finishing, I sat down with Charles and I told Charles that, Charles, I'm going to Cape Town. He said, where are you going? I said, I'm going with that man I was teaching how to play bow this afternoon. So I started packing my things, and Charles was very, very sad because now he knew he was going to be remaining alone with Dan, and me, I was going to be gone. It was a very sad thing that evening as we were talking. So I promised, I said to Charles, I will make my best that you come and join me in Cape Town. I will speak to Dr. Eric Faringer, ask him if he can take you to come with us to Cape Town. So the next morning, I had packed my bags, waiting by the shop to see if the doctor was really going to come. And to my surprise, the doctor came with his wife. They were driving in a pickup. So they came and he said, Ted, are you ready? I said, yes, I am ready. And then came out and he called me, Dr. Eric Faringer, to his office, and he called me also. And there he put a paper on the desk. And he said to the doctor, I've written a contract here that I want you to sign. I want you to sign here and to saying that you are taking responsibility of Ted. You are going to be responsible for whatever happens to Ted, and also you'll be responsible for making sure that you buy a ticket for him when he is going back to Malawi. So Dr. Eric Faringer took the paper and read it through, and he just signed. It was, to me, something that was very, shocking, because now I'm getting this opportunity. I'm seeing that Dan is almost like trying to threaten this gentleman, but this gentleman doesn't feel moved. He's so prepared to take me with to Cape Town. So for me, I was filled with excitement, but at the same time, I was also filled with fear. I was afraid because I was now thinking, is it a setup? Did these people arrange that they should take me? Because the previous morning, Dan had given me my passport. Why did Dan give me my passport? And at the same time, there's this gentleman who's coming to get me, to take me to Cape Town. So, but I said, I don't know, whatever happens, happens. But me, I am going with this man to Cape Town. He sounded and he felt like a very good man. His wife also sounded like a very caring woman. So I felt like being in their hands would be much better than being in Dan's hands. So we started off. So they put me behind the backing and they were in front. And we started driving. It was very, very scary for me because it was a long journey. We were driving through some wilderness, a lot of trees. Now, what I did, I took with me a writing pad and a pen. So every time when I saw a roadside, I would take a pen and write the name of the roadside. And I would make sure that I look at them. And I used to see the doctor every now and then. He'll be looking through his rearview mirror to look to see if I was still at the back. I am sure they knew that I was very scared. I remember I was wearing a brown shoe and my brown trousers that I had come with from Malawi. I still can remember in my head. And I was carrying my bag, with a maroon bag with a yellow sides. And it was very, very, very scary. So sit there and continue watching this story so that you can hear what happened to me when I left Plettenberg Bay. Thank you very much for watching this video. If it's your first time, don't forget to subscribe, but also don't forget to share this video and leave a comment. What do you think happened to me? Was I being trafficked? Was I being kidnapped to go to Cape Town? What do you think happened to me? So leave a comment, and thank you very much for watching.
I'm happy. We've been talking for a little while now. People were telling me to come meet you because I'm in the city now.
Yes.